turning to your lawsuit, because we are going to make good on that. You filed this suit.
Yes. Yes.
Given that the committee has been operating for about 11 months, the Supreme Court has recognized its validity in a different case. What do you think is your strongest argument that could win in court in your new suit against the committee?
Well, the most important one constitutionally, and this is why I'm putting literally my life on the line, standing up for principle. The most important one is about executive privilege and the related concept of testimonial immunity for senior White House officials. For your viewers, executive privilege, it goes back to George Washington and has been long an institution which is recognized in case law, Ari, as being important to allow candor to presidents to promote effective decision making. So that's just a really critical principle. Now, what is being attacked here is executive privilege in a very unique, in my view, fanciful and absurd way. The key constitutional question here, Ari, is whether an incumbent president in Joe Biden can strip executive privilege from his predecessor.
So let's get into it.
Strip testimonial immunity from me. This is the most important issue.
I read your filing, and so you're saying that. And let's get into it, Peter, because respectfully, you're talking about that argument, and executive privilege does exist. Your problem, sir, is it doesn't exist for you yet because Donald Trump doesn't have your back. You say you're standing tall and going to the mat. You're clearly demonstrating.
Look, Ari,
let me finish, sir.
Let's just stop.
Peter, let me finish, and then I'm going to let you respond. You say it's counterfactual, so let me give you some facts.
As you would say when we debate, that's false. Okay, so that's false.
So let me show the evidence, and then you get to respond. So here's the evidence. I'm going to say it so people hear it clearly. Executive privilege does exist and can be litigated. The former president has not invoked it publicly or in writing for you. I'm going to put up for viewers in your response what you say in your suit and what the committee says. They haven't heard from Donald Trump citing privilege for you or others.
So Navarro then appears to fall back on the vague assertion that the executive privilege here belongs to former President Trump, which is not only dubious, but entirely irrelevant, because our committee has not been given any attempted invocation of executive privilege by Donald Trump.
Can you answer once and for all why you should have privilege if Trump won't say it?
Raskin, can talk all he wants. The president is not going to cooperate with a kangaroo committee run by people like Raskin and Adam Schiff. And one of the things I do in the lawsuit, Ari, based on case law, is I go over what's called the legislative history of each of the 7 Democrats on that 9-member committee. And it's relevant, Ari, because
I read that, but you admit that Trump has not invoked.
Hang on.
But you admit that Trump has not invoked privilege for you.
So
you're getting time. You're getting time, but it's a back and forth.
Finish this point. Over a 5-year period, those 7 Democrats have engaged initially on a discredited Russia hoax in 2016 to get rid of Trump, 2 phony impeachment trials, and 3 efforts alone to try to disqualify Donald Trump from office for mental or physical reasons. That's a legislative history which shows that that committee is not performing a legislative function, but rather seeking to punish Donald Trump and prevent him from running for.
And you're getting time on air to make that point that you have with them. But you acknowledge that Trump. But Peter, you acknowledge Trump. This is important, Peter, and I'll let you respond. It's just a question. It won't take long. It's not going to take long, Peter. You acknowledge that Trump has not invoked privilege for you.
I haven't acknowledged anything. All I've said to you, Ari, is that in terms of whatever Raskin says, don't take that to the bank. My point here is it's not my privilege to waive, okay? Let me be clear about this. It's not my privilege to waive. And also, as a senior White House official, here's what's interesting, Ari. I have absolute testimonial immunity. According to who? According to the Department of Justice, going back to the 1970s, over a dozen opinings from the Office of Legal Counsel say.
So let's get into that, Peter. I'm going to jump in.
I'm going to jump in officials have
on this point, so we go back and forth.
I don't know how the Department of Justice, which is right here,
Peter,
by the way.
Now, Peter, you finished that answer. Peter, I'm going to jump in.
When it's their policy to support that.
So, Peter, on the screen we have what this Supreme Court, which includes multiple Trump appointees, ruled 8-1 that this ex-president's executive privilege claims would have failed even if he were still president. You're raising an issue that, by the way, is interesting about whether there is legal questions or gray area about former presidents. But this Supreme Court, with people that the White House you served put on it, 8-1 backed the ruling by the appeals court that Trump doesn't have it. I want to put one more thing on the screen for your response, because you say, okay, you were a White House aide, but look at your colleagues. And I want to get you on record on this, Peter, because this is important stuff. And these hearings are starting next week. People need to hear from everyone.
You can't kind of keep going. Let me respond to this, okay?
You want to? All right, I'm going to give you a minute, Peter. I'm going to give you a minute to respond to this.
Ari.
Go ahead.
Fairness, one at a time. That case was a small piece that was related to the Presidential Records Act. It was not a case broadly construed about executive privilege, particularly that applies to testimonial type immunity and discussions with the president.
So let's go to testimony, which I'm going to put back on the screen for your response.
Please do the case law. That's what I've done.
No, let's do it.
Surprised me.
I read it. And this is a chance to cover more than one thing. So, Peter.
Yes.
Peter, you said documents. That was a document case. Now you get to testimony, people talking to the committee.
Presidential Records Act case, and it was a subset of documents.
Records, documents,
that were in question, okay?
Hey,
my view is...
Peter, take some agreement from me. Peter, I just agreed with you. Yes, it was a document record case. Now let's go on testimony. There's some people on the screen who have cooperated. Donald Trump's family, his chief lawyer in this effort, Rudy Giuliani, his chief spokesperson. Over 700 people have cooperated with the committee. If you're right, and we hold open the possibility that legally you could be right, the case hasn't been decided, what do you say to these people? What do you think of their cooperation?
Well, first of all, 4 of the 6 are not senior White House officials, so they don't have any claim. They wouldn't have the same claim. I mean, Rudy might. I'm not sure what their claims would be. With respect to Kushner, I call him out in my own lawsuit. I thought it was cowardly what he did to go to the committee and undermine the executive privilege of other senior White House advisors. So that's what I would say about that.
Interesting. Okay. There's the other question that hangs over all of this, Peter, which is you have every right to prosecute your view of these events. You're clearly doing so.
Yes.
And we make time for you so people can hear from you. That's part of our job as journalists. A lot of your argument, what we just discussed in privilege, is you keep saying that you have the right not to talk. You're waging this legal battle not to talk to the committee, not to talk potentially to DOJ, although, as you said, TBD. So you're risking going potentially to jail, not to talk to them. But you're out here talking in public. You do realize these investigators can hear you when you talk on TV.
What we're talking about now, Ari, is the case law itself and the constitutionality of executive privilege, testimony immunity. A second key issue in the case is the separation of powers. This committee, this kangaroo committee, has clearly violated the separation of powers.